Autism O Gaming. You might want to change that name. I'm just saying, so people might find that offensive. Even if you actually are autistic, that could be seen as offensive. I'm just throwing that out there. And by the way, I'm gonna say this outright. There's absolutely nothing wrong with people who are autistic. I know many people who are autistic. All right, and they're perfectly normal, fine, good, positive people. There's nothing wrong with this at all. Viking asks if I'm autistic. Of course, you didn't know? You can't tell?
I don't think Phil will ever reach insight. I think he's undiagnosed. He's never had help. It's gone on for far too long, and I honestly don't think he's able to have insight into how he is as a person.
I think he's way too deep into this bubble he's created for himself to ever get out, barring a massive life change and a massive life catastrophe, unfortunately.
Why would you get out of a bubble that is comfortable and it's working for you?
Okay,
that's put it out there. What's the point?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's a great question, actually.
Him being in his office, he wants to be there. That's his happy place. But for some reason, people seem to think he's been put there by other people. Phil is exactly where Phil wants to be. Trust me.
See, Chomps, and here's the thing. Here's Chomps, all right? And this is probably where we'll end it, because at this point, we've gone really long talking about this, right? He goes, how long are you going to continue to watch all of your peers do better than you, surpass you, and even retire around you while you're still here struggling? Okay, I need to explain something to you, all right? This is going to be very important. I want everyone out there to listen to me. I have no peers. I am a man on a fucking island. Since the day I turned on my camera and pointed it at my TV and started doing the improv commentary, I did it different. I did it my way, and I never copied anyone else. I only ever wanted to be me. I never aspired to success. I never wanted to do this for a job. This all just happened. And now here we are almost 17 years later, and you say, but all these other people did it bigger and better than you. Yeah, because they didn't do what I did. They came into it with the mentality of, let's get famous, let's get rich, let's do this, let's get the bag. I don't care. Get it? I don't care. All I want to do is make the content that's meaningful to me and my viewers, and if I can make a living doing it, great, but I'm not aspiring to be the biggest shill sellout to make tons of money, the biggest hateful drama content creator on the internet who everyone is the big dog and looks up to, like Medicare, right? I'm not looking to be any of that. Maybe I could be if I tried, but I don't care. It's hard to try to do something that you don't have passion for. I don't have passion for that shit. I don't. I'm sorry.
I mean, you could say certain people enable his behavior, but it's exactly what he wants. And I think it's interesting, Anna, that you asked that question, why would you leave a comfortable place? Whereas for me personally, my experience just emotionally is that when I started therapy, right, like a lot of people, I started going to therapy during the pandemic. The pandemic, very hard years for all of us, still in therapy. But I remember my therapist saying, well, life begins outside of your comfort zone. For a lot of people, if you're not uncomfortable with something or you're not challenging yourself on something, you're not really living. You're just surviving. And survival is not enough. Existence is not enough. But for some people on the spectrum, it might not be. Some people are just trying to get by comfortably,
And what gives the life meaning? What exactly do you kind of require for that? And there may be some kind of projection, I guess, of neurotypical ideals on what you are supposed to have in your life to be happy.
I feel like playing this game, it's like going back to where we started and showing that after 7 years of doing this, that I've turned it into something that's successful, that's fun, that's helped people over the years for various different reasons, that's entertained people for various different reasons, and that it's something that needs to stay, something that's meaningful. The pre-stream wasn't too long today. In fact, I don't even think it was 20 minutes long, even though it's hilarious because here we go again, people in the stream chat. His 40-minute pre-streams. Okay, sure. But that's what I mean, instant gratification, right? Because I didn't instantly start the game when the stream started. You guys sit there and complain and criticize instead of realizing this is what I do. Meaningful streaming, meaningful videos, not instant gratification every moment. Okay then. Things are a little different now. And that's good, I think. I think that what's happened is I've kind of fallen into a method of doing things that's a lot more professional. And I enjoy getting up every day and coming in here into the office and doing what I do and feeling that it's meaningful to a lot of people. Okay? And I made those sacrifices building a legacy. I want to stand by that. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I want to be that true to form person who said, I made it and I could still do this as a job because I stuck to my guns and I found creative ways to avoid the fact that, 95% of people who watch gaming on YouTube are fucking idiots and they want to go see these stupid fake videos that are paid advertisements rather than actually see someone who does something real and worthwhile. I still want to be able to do that, and I don't know. I mean, I'm being so threatened by what's going on right now. So, to end this, if you really do want to help, number 1, keep watching the videos. Number 2, please like the videos. I know I never used to say that before, but liking the videos helps. Number 3, please consider pledging to my Patreon, patreon.com/darksidephil. For as little as $1 a month, it actually helps me. You'd be surprised. With the amount of people now that have pledged $1 a month, it's going to help. And if I can get even more, maybe I don't have to worry about this shit anymore, okay? Please, give me suggestions. I need better perks for Patreon to get more people to pledge. I need a suggestion. What should I do about the streaming and the videos? Like, what do I do? Because when YouTube is telling me everything I'm doing in their statistics, in their analytics, you're great, better engagement, more likes, more shares, everything you're doing is in the green, good, and I'm not making as much money, it's something wrong here. There's a disconnect. And without sacrificing my entire business of what I do and losing my own fucking self-respect, I want to be able to still make a living. How do I do it? I need your help. I need suggestions, and I know some people are going to watch this video and just say it's more of Phil being a pig-headed, stubborn asshole who won't change, and you know what? I will never change the minds of some people. Some people will just say, you know what? A lot of other people don't do it anymore or change, but Phil's still here and he still does it the same way, and how does he expect to be popular? Maybe because it's on principle. Maybe because I think that what I'm doing is good. All the message I've gotten from people over the years saying that what I do is so meaningful to them and that they can, get not only information and quality and meaning out of what I do, but also that there's days when they just watch my stuff and it allows them to feel better about themselves. And some of the heartfelt stuff I've heard from people. 8 years is a long fucking time of my life. I'm only 34 years old. So, about a quarter of my life has been on YouTube at this point. So first off, ladies and gentlemen, take a look below. You're going to see 24 straight streams that we have crushed the streaming goals. Thank you. Thank you so much for 12 full days of streaming where you have supported my efforts to make meaningful content for the internet and felted the crap out of my trolls. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Listen, here's the deal. Every once in a while, I cover RTU and the drama around him. I mean, no exaggeration. There's literally RTU drama going down right now. At this very moment, there's RTU drama happening. He's on a stream, and it's a train wreck nightmare again. All right? It could literally be all I cover. But I'm not RTU. See, if this were me doing what he's doing right now, every day would be him just reacting and watching me. But I'm not RTU. I actually have meaningful content to put onto the internet. You understand? Today, we're going to be talking about my schedule and how it's updating for my viewers, and we're going to talk about this big controversial issue with Dragon Age Veilguard, which needs to be discussed. I could never do that for a living. I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy clowning on people, at all. I just don't. I don't, some people, it's like their forte. I can't take it. It actually hurts me. Like, I want to enjoy games. I want to have fun. I want to chill and relax. I want to have meaningful conversation. Right? That's the stuff that I love doing. That's the stuff I aspire to do from now till the day I die.
I can perfectly see, working from home, talking about something that I'm interested in, as long as I have, enough kind of money, to get what I need. What is the problem with that? The fulfillment is coming. There is some sort of social interaction to get my social battery refilled. Maybe not in the most usual way, but it's happening. All the basic needs are met. The special interests, are being provided for. So, I think all the things that are important for an autistic person, all the boxes are ticked. So, what is it exactly that we are saying Phil is missing?
I think that's a very interesting point, that we have been projecting these very neurotypical ideals onto Phil, but like we said early in the conversation, he's not neurotypical, and things begin to make a lot more sense when you accept that he's not. So maybe what looks miserable to us is comfortable for him.
Bliss, heaven.
Go ahead.
It's bliss, it's heaven. He wants to be there. He's in his happy place.
Well, and one thing I want to ask about, because I know Who's Poppin', we talked about this in the last few days in DMs, and I sent you the link to Kat's restraining order incident report. I believe I wasn't completely sold until I saw the restraining order, but I believe Kat is also on the spectrum, and I think that they're both comfortable, to be honest. I think, could they be living a better life? Of course. According to us, of course they could. But I think both of them are exactly where they want to be at this point.
And that's what I've been saying since I started these videos, and I sort of took off the neurotypical lens. I put on the autistic lens. Everything about Phil makes sense. You look at him through an autistic lens, it makes sense. You look at him through a neurotypical lens, nothing makes sense. You just start getting angry.
I mean,
I think what comes into it, it's a lot about predictability and routine.
Yes.
I think a lot of neurotypical people find it very boring, and at some point it feels like something is missing and they are unfulfilled because every single day is the same, and you kind of just go through exactly the same routines. This is what tends to make autistic people comfortable and also happy. We go back to that subject of repetition. Mm-hmm. Repetition is not a bad thing. Repetition is highly desirable. It doesn't get boring. So again, it's that different wiring of the brain. We require different things to be happy.
Right.
What's repetitive about Phil? Let's go through it as detractors. Just me and you, Logan.
Okay,
now.
Sure.
What's repetitive about Phil? What does he repeat on a daily basis?
Oh, the easiest and most consistent one is the idea that he talks about whatever he talks about on his pre-stream podcast, and then the daily wrap the next day he'll talk about his day, and then the next day he'll do it all again on the podcast. He'll tell you what he just told you on the daily wrap last night. So
also revisiting the schedule every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, revisiting the schedule, and just sort of. I even think, and this is a weird theory that I've gone back and forth with certain tech detractors like me in DMs. I think he kind of likes when his cameras are failing now. I think that's a thing that he kind of likes, because he can go, oh, the camera's busted. I have to unplug and replug it again. It's part of his routine now.
Yeah. Now, what about this? Think about the actual act of streaming being a routine. He has his day off on Saturday, and he's streaming twice a day, 6 days a week. The act of streaming is the routine.
Yes.
If you think about it, if I was Phil with my brain, and I got even so much as 1% of the trolling that he gets, I would just leave the internet. So the sheer act of continuing to do this routine, despite everything that's levelled against him, is part of the routine. And I also think, somewhere along the line, responding to the detractors has become a routine.
Absolutely. He feels uncomfortable, noticeably uncomfortable, when there's not a lot of detractor drama to talk about, and you can tell.
That to me, that's wild. That's wild. It's mind-blowing, but it just makes sense.
And begging
Ma-
is an important part of the routine because
Correct.
I was talking to the other day earlier this week when he didn't beg as part of his quote unquote experiment. Phil is going to talk about the 3 paths for a while. If you already know what it is and you'd like to skip it, hit the chapter marker in the description.
I did a day with 0 asks. 0. Not once did I say, hey, contribute. Hey, let's hit the goal. Hey, let's do this. Not once. Did I get support? I did. I did get support. Did I hit any of my goals? No, I did not. Not at all. Okay, so there's your evidence. I'll still do all right if I'm never asking for support. But likely what will happen is you'll have incredibly slow days, and that will hurt me, to be frank. Okay, you don't want to have a series of incredibly slow days. It would be much harder to hit goals, to do celebratory rewards, to get hype for marathons. Like that all goes hand in hand. Okay, it does. So I'm just going off the evidence as presented to me. All right. Something completely different was tried, and it had to be done organically, meaning I didn't announce ahead of time that I was doing an experiment. Okay, really, it had to be done with the right timing, and it was. It was a day when things were horrible for me. I just needed to take my mind off of everything. I wanted to immerse myself in the games. I didn't want to sit here doing an interactive stream where I felt like shit. I didn't want to be shilling all day. I just wanted to sit here and be focused to get through the day, and it worked. Okay? So all those factors combined, all right, there's a few things that I've kind of surmised and gotten out of it. All right. And here it is, because I'm going to present it to you now. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Moving forward, I, Darkside Phil, have 3 ways that I can continue. I see 3 roads before me. One goes left, one goes right, and one goes right up the middle. Okay? And I see all 3 roads, and I don't know what the right course of action is. And to be quite frank with you, I don't actually believe there is a right choice. But allow me to present to you the 3 paths based on my observations recently, okay? Path number 1 would be a path that many content creators changed to, course-corrected to, all right, over the years. Course number 1 is a simple course, but it's a course that would mean a lot of changes for me. All right? Sell out. Just give up on the fact that I've been this stubborn asshole for the last 10 to 15 years of my life and career and say, I give up on trying to be different. I give up on trying to do things in a different way. I should just do what's best for myself and my family and say, fuck all this. Stop standing on my own laurels, my own values, my own loyalty, my honesty. What does it all really mean anyway? Right? At the end of the day, does any of it actually matter? Or does what matters is that I have the ability to provide for my family? Okay? So when I say this, what do I mean? I mean, immediately I start reaching out to every major company that makes games, all those PR managers in between, indie game companies, game peripheral companies, every single fucking company. And I say, hey, let's make a deal. Send me your game. Send me your product. Send me this, and I will shill it, right? I will shill everything possible. I'll use your referral code. I will play your game early, and I will not break the street date, and I won't say a negative word about your game. I'll kiss its butt. I'll do exclusive stream previews for my audience so they'll see games ahead of time, and I'll get everything early, and I'll do advanced reviews and sneak peeks, and you can fly me out to events where you can schmooze me in person and fluff me up so that I can get hype for your game and say the game is the best game ever. Everyone should be excited for it. Everyone should buy it. And you, in turn, will give me money, or you will give me exclusive access to that so that then I will benefit from it. And then it'll be you pat me on the back, I pat you on the back, unspoken rule that we will keep this in the loop and we'll all just keep helping each other in a circle. And that's how we all make bank and that's how we all get by. Ladies and gentlemen, any content creator that you see that is a gamer or influencer who abides by everything that I just mentioned has sold out. They don't make content because they're passionate about it. They don't make content because they care about what they're putting out. They make content because they want to make money, to make a living, to support their family, to make bank, to get rich, and to essentially take the bag. That's it. Now, is there anything wrong with that? That's up to you to decide. That's your own choice. Many people don't see any issue with it. And they go watch these big creators who get thousands and thousands of viewers on their streams, who get all the access, who get all the extra stuff. I could have done that and done that over a decade ago. I was in that group. I chose actively to not do it. But I could. It would mean a complete shift of focus. It would mean a complete and utter change from the content that I have put out for the last 16 plus years. There would be no honesty. It would be all fluff. Now, the streams would be way more positive. You would never hear me talking about detractors ever again. I actually mean that. Like, it would mean I have to never be honest again about any of that stuff. I have to pretend like it's all white noise and doesn't exist and doesn't get to me. It would just be me talking about games, game news, and all these promotions. Here's a referral code. Please click it. Please buy this merch. Please buy this game. Here's, it would be very different from who and what I am today and always have been. It would be a complete change of take. There is another path going to the right. And that path, ladies and gentlemen, is the path of drama. The path of hate. The return of the old school, classic, no holds barred, no punches pulled, say whatever the fuck I want, do whatever the fuck I want, because I'm the big dog in the yard and no one's gonna fuck with me. The return of the king of hate, Darkside Phil. I shit on everything, I make fun of everything, I razz everything, and I cause drama. I talk shit, and everyone hates me, and I hate them back. So I'm constantly arguing with people. We've got arguments. We've got fights. I'm going on podcasts, and I'm fucking tearing people a new asshole, but then they're tearing me a new asshole. And we got people at each other's throats, and I'm appearing on Lolcow Live and Kino Casino, and I'm screaming at the hosts, and they're screaming back at me, and we're going crazy. And there's just drama left, right, up, and down. Darkside Phil always causing problems for everyone. He just won't keep his fucking mouth shut because he bothers everyone and he talks shit about everyone. Why can't he just shut the fuck up? But it's very entertaining when he opens his mouth, and you always want to hear the next thing he's going to say because you don't know how crazy it's going to be, and you don't know who he's not afraid to piss off next. That's the right-hand choice. Okay? Complete polar opposite of the left-hand choice. Because I'm not playing the game. I'm ignoring, I'll still play video games, sure. But this would be leaning completely and utterly into the drama. Internet blood sport. I'm coming at all these motherfuckers who've come after me for the last 10 to 15 years. I'm going to destroy every single fucking one of them. And then when I'm done with them, because it won't take long to go through these fucking schlubs who shat on me for so long. When I'm done with every one of those fucking losers and they're just a pile of broken fucking bodies at my feet, then I'm going after everyone else. No one is fucking safe from the king. If you go to the right and you become ultimate drama, the return of the king of hate, and I'm here to destroy the internet and fuck everyone, right? That also is an irreversible change. Because now, once you go down that vortex, all right, willingly, which I have not done, I have been incredibly resistant. And I keep telling you guys, I don't want to go down that vortex. I think that it would be destructive. To be quite frank, I think that would result in some of the most interesting, most entertaining content the internet has ever seen. And also, it would destroy people's fucking lives. Okay? I'm just being honest. I think it would be incredibly entertaining and incredibly toxic and destructive at the same time. I see people losing their jobs. I see people losing their livelihoods. I see people getting completely destroyed. Really. All right? So, there you go. That's that direction. If I do that, that's the end of me seriously covering games. Every once in a while, maybe I'll pull a game out and play it, but it's going to be drama all day, every day, drama, drama, drama. And by the way, I fully believe, truly believe that either of those paths, which are the easy paths, would make me more popular, more financially successful, and secure a future for my family. I firmly and utterly believe that. Okay? But then there's the third row. Okay? There's the third row. And the third road is the hardest. And the third road is the most challenging and the toughest. All right? Because the third road is the road that no one travels. It's the road, don't sell out, but don't become a drama queen, person here. But the third road is the road where I listen directly to my viewers and I do my best to take constructive criticism and change for the better in the future. But I be my own person. I don't become the shill sellout. I don't become the drama queen, king of hate, but instead, I'm just me. I sit here every day and I hang out with you and we have honest, fun conversations about gaming, about news, about other stuff. I do branch out from time to time and do different kinds of content, but it's not always my major focus. If new hot games come out, we can go back and enjoy them. If a chill indie game's out, we can hang out and like it. But we can also adjust and pivot on the fly. I'm not going to be the king of hate or the king of anything. I'm not going to be the shill king where I make a ton of money, but I'm still going to be me, and I won't lose myself, and I won't have to change and take the easy way out like everyone else has. All right? But there is a caveat to all of it. All right? And here's the caveat. Here's the kicker. Here's the catch. Here's the trick. Here's the thing that so many people seem to have issue with when I take that third road. All right? The road far less traveled. I have to do things differently. And because I'm doing it differently and I don't have sponsor money and I don't have drama money, I have to ask my viewers for money. Because I'm asking you daily if you like the third road, the road that's the hardest out of all of them, where I'm not going to get big corporations backing me and a bunch of people who like internet blood sports throwing their money at me. I'm going to need those who want that different kind of content to actually come and support it. And I'm going to be asking you every day. Because this is the road less traveled, because this is the one that no one does, right? Everyone makes bank one way or the other. And everyone wants me to go one way or the other. I keep getting told, go this way or go that way. Go this way or go that way. But what about my way? And what's wrong with my way? All right, honestly, what's wrong with my way? Because the major complaint everyone says is you just ask too much. Well, when I ask, I receive. When I say, let's get hype for an event, let's get hype for this and that, people actually support it because they like it. If they didn't like it, why would they support it? When people say things like, oh, your reward is you're going to eat fast food, how is that a reward? Well, why don't you ask the people who supported to get it? Because obviously they saw it as such. Did they not? Did we not just do an entire day of me playing a series of games that I never would have played on my own, but because you guys asked for it, I did. And now we've got an awesome outcome where now I might actually play these games in the future and check them out because I understand them better. So how is that not a good outcome from me asking for contributions to get there? And another question that I have to pose, okay? Me sitting here on a stream all day saying, let's hit the goal. Let's get some super chats. Let's get some subs, right? Who is that hurting exactly? Was I running a large-scale crypto scam where I lied to my viewers about their investments, making them rich, and then I just pulled the rug out from under them and pocketed all their money? Did it ruin any of their lives? Right? Did I run an entire giant corporation based on giving your children unhealthy candy and Lunchable knockoff meals that actually are going to make them like sick and not healthy? But because I'm some big guy who's like the Pied Piper to children on the internet, it's all okay. So I ruin an entire generation of kids who watch garbage on the internet? Did I do that? Did I fake cancer for money? Did I do any of these horrible, horrendous things that other content creators who are big and prominent just get off doing every day and never get held accountable for? No. What I said was, let's eat some fucking pizza. Send me some money so next week we can order pizza, which you will help me to order, and we'll have a fun pizza party together. And then we did it. And then it was fun. So what's wrong with that? We've got actual creators on the internet making documentaries about me saying I'm the greediest creator. Are you fucking kidding me? Have you ever watched anyone else, you pathetic fucking schlub? You are so lame because you take the low-hanging fruit, the easy target that everyone's already targeted, to make a worthless fucking video that rehashes the same shit and just ignores the fact that there are people 47 times worse than me who actively hurt people on a fucking daily basis to get ahead. But somehow I'm the greediest person on the internet. Get fucked, you disingenuous fucking loser who has no idea how to actually make a documentary. What a fucking loser schlub to pull my name out of the hat and say, I'm the greedy guy. You're nuts. Now, the third path is different. The third path means I need your support every day. And it means that every day I'm going to ask for it. And it means every day I'm going to hopefully get it. And I will be disappointed if I don't. Okay?
I was talking to
Everybody.
detractors and Discord channels. I was talking in DMs with people. We thought he was dying because he didn't
Everybody,
beg.
yes, everybody's minds were blown. It was the hot topic.
Yes.
Change is extremely difficult, and moving away from your established routines is extremely uncomfortable. So I can fully envisage him almost dying on that stream.
Right.
If he was not allowed to go through his usual routines and talk about that kind of money side of things that he has been talking every single stream for God knows how long, and now suddenly there is this massive shift from what is his normal pattern. It's interesting how you guys talk about the repetition of the schedule as one of the examples of, what he does all the time. We love schedules. It almost tickled the pressure side of my brain, just kind of like, oh, somebody's talking about the schedule. It's a common special interest in autistic community timetables. Kind of trains,
Yes.
buses, the actual, we do look at the timetables and we look at them over and over. And this is a recognized hobby and, something that people spend hours on. I don't know many neurotypical people that don't actually work in kind of travel scheduling that spend hours looking at timetables. But, there is something about it that, it's very interesting and it's a common hobby. So again, it's about that, what he's doing on stream, how that fits with the needs of his audience. When we
Right.
kind of think about the autistic viewer, genuinely something like, oh, I'm interested, how is his schedule? It probably sounds very wild from a neurotypical perspective, but I can totally see why an autistic viewer would actually enjoy that part of his podcast and the repetition of it and hearing the same schedule day in and day out.
It's very
Oh,
it's very controllable for him, and it is a sense of control. Again, I don't have nearly the experience working with people on the spectrum as the two of you do, but in my experience, we would tell all the kids, okay, here's the schedule for the day, and we would say specifically this time to this time, and they'd get excited about it because they like people on the spectrum like knowing what's next. They like understanding, okay, this is what's expected to me from 10:45 a.m. to 11:15. This is what's expected of me from 11:16 to noon, and so on. There's a lot of comfort in that. And a lot of kids that I would talk to would just say, the schedule just makes me feel comfortable. They would basically say, I can't tell you why, but it just makes me feel comfortable. So
again, it works both for Phil and his autistic viewers,
Right.
because Phil is very much in control and have a very clear schedule, that is very predictable, but it's the same as a viewer. You know exactly what you are going to get from Phil, and he will tell you and remind you what the schedule is, so there are not going to be no surprises. There's
Right.
a lot of repetition and a lot of predictability in the content, which is exactly, what is making a nice viewing when you are wanting, to relax. A lot of autistic people will watch, for example, the same movie over and over again,
Yes.
and this is still excellent entertainment. It's very, very boring for neurotypical people because they already know what happened. That makes it better.
Right.
Knowing what happens make the experience of watching much more enjoyable.
yes. And I think I was not convinced about Phil being on the autism spectrum until he started interacting with Kino Casino, because Who's Poppin', as you said, once you look at him through the lens of autism, everything makes sense. It all falls together. You look at him as a neurotypical person, nothing lines up. But
You just get angry.
right, but as soon as you say, oh, he's on the autism spectrum, it makes everything a lot easier to deal with because there's an explanation. And I know, I don't want to call anybody out, but I know that certain folks with experience, like Steve of the Dead, would say, well, it's too good of an explanation. It's too convenient of an explanation when there could be other factors there to explain it. I think it's the perfect explanation.
The thing with that is, I've been doing it, and I suggest everybody that's listening to this does it. If you've got a question, a tickling question about Phil's behaviours, and you type in the behaviour and how it relates to autism in Google and hit enter, you will 100% get results.
It's all there. It's all
Yes.
there.
And I'll just leave it at that. My mind has been opened because I didn't really know a lot about autism, but maybe a little bit more in depth about what the average person knows.
Mm-hmm.
But just Googling anything that tickles your fancy relating to autism that you see in Philip, you will 100% get a result back. And it's a scholar result as well. It's a well-researched result.
Right,
You're not just going to get some random opinion about
people
it.
writing journal articles about looping, echolalia, all of the things that he exhibits. They're all there. It's all scientifically backed. That's it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. And again, a big thanks to Anna and Who's Poppin'. Without you, this series would not be possible. Come by next time for the final part in the series where we talk about why Phil makes some of the odd choices he makes. See you then.